Hey everyone, welcome back to Veronica Says. This is part 4 of a Sephora spring sale recommendations video series. In this segment, I'm going to share with you what's sitting in my cart. I don't know that I'm going to actually buy all of these products, but they're really enticing. They're calling my name, guys. um, so I have a part 1 through 3 that's up on my channel if you're interested. In part 1, I give you my recommendations for foundation, for concealer, for primers, setting sprays, the sort of base products for your face. In part 2, I talk about the products that add color. So we're talking about lipstick, we're talking about blush, we're talking about eyeshadow, lip liner, eyeliner, mascara, and brow products. In part 3, I talk a little bit about skincare products, self-tanning products if you like to do that. I also share some brush recommendations and then fragrance recommendations. There is one product that I forgot to put in part 3, which is a die-hard product for me. And I'm really sorry that I forgot to recommend it because I love it very much and would highly, highly recommend it if you are in the market for an exfoliator. I have been using the Amore Pacific Treatment Enzyme Peel Cleansing Powder. This is an enzyme exfoliator, and it comes out like a powder, almost like baking soda, except really, really fine. By the way, you can use a little baking soda and you can use a little baking soda and water water mixed together as an exfoliator for your face. You don't have to spend a lot of money, guys. But if you want a nice enzymatic um, exfoliator, I highly recommend this Amore Pacific one. This is bottle like 3 or so, maybe 4 for me, and I have a backup of this. I don't want to be without it. I don't want to be without this. This is very gentle on the skin. It's good for sort of sloughing off some of the dead skin that may have accumulated overnight. I can't say enough good things about this, but let's talk about what's in my cart. And I do actually have maybe a few of these products already. Most of them I don't, and so I'll just insert pictures somewhere wherever I can on the screen. So let's get to it. Products that I am considering. Let's talk first about. Let's go sort of up the face, if you will. Lipsticks. I am really into the Natasha Denona Nude Lipstick series. So I've got a bunch of colors in my cart here that I don't know if I'm going to purchase them all or maybe just 2 or 3. I have Noah and I have Lyran, and I really like both of those. It's a nice creamy formula, stays put on the lips, looks good, just a really comfortable, gorgeous, opaque formula to wear. I have the color Yana, Maria, Susana, Claudia, and Amorosa, which reminds me of Omarosa, that y'all know who Omarosa is, don't you? I don't need to talk about it. So I don't know how I feel about that because she's such an interesting character. I don't have any lip liners in here because I recently fell in love with lip liner from Lancome and purchased 4 of those. And I'm very, very happy with that selection. And I have some other recommendations for lip liners in the part 2 video if you're interested in that. I also don't have, oh, I do have one cheek product in here, and that's from the Buxom Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush line. I have the color Seychelles and I have the color Mykonos. Seychelles is like a warm tannish kind of color, and then Mykonos is a peachy pink. I have in my cart Ibiza, which is this beautiful pinky rosy color that I think I'm gonna really enjoy. Oh, I forgot one of the lip products. Maybe I should just go down my cart since I'm doing really badly at organizing these. But I really love the YSL Tatouage lip stain. I have one that's in like a velvet formula that's a little bit creamy, and I really wanted to try one of the matte ones. So I have the color Red Tribe sitting in my cart. It's a lip stain, and I'm pretty sure that one is definitely going to make it home with me. All right, let me go down the rest of this cart without trying to be organized. Is that okay with you guys? I hope so. because I need that grace right about now. I have a very, very large, by the way, I'm sitting here in my rocking chair because I'm old and I'm tired, y'all. I hope you don't mind that I don't have a more formal setting. So the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Matte Bronzer. I have a pretty large bronzer collection. It's my favorite makeup product ever. I feel like bronzer is all in one. It can give you cheek, it can give you eye, it can give you around the face. It can also even be a lip balm if you mix it with something balmy for your lips. I don't know why I got into all that, but I'll get off that little soapbox and tell you that I've had my eye on the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Matte Bronzer for a while. It's on the, oh, listen, all these products are a lot more expensive than I wish they were. So let's just be honest about that, and Sephora in general. Who are we kidding? But this one in particular, it's $55 normally for the bronzer. And so 20% off is only going to get me $11 off. Did I do that right? Yeah, that's not a whole lot of discount, but it's the most I'm going to get out of Sephora. I might be able to find a better deal on Charlotte Tilbury's site, but I'm not subscribed to her email list and don't plan to. So I'll take advantage of this sale. It's a really large pan. I'm going to get the color medium, and it just comes highly recommended from YouTubers and friends that I trust. So I'm going to try that out. Let's talk about fragrance. I'm not quite sure. No, I'll go to fragrance last. Sorry, that's silly. Let's talk about mascara. I've got the Pat McGrath Labs Dark Star Volumizing Mascara sitting in my cart. That one I'm absolutely getting a second of. I have one that I've used and I am getting ready to get rid of it in the next 2 or 3 uses because I have used it to death. It owes no one any favors, apologies, or explanations. It has done its job and done it well. And it's time to let that thing go to the mascara cemetery in the heavens and get a brand new one. One of the most high performing mascaras I have ever tried. I may also add the Monsieur Big mascara in. That's from Lancome, and it's a beautiful wet formula. It's like the Dark Star mascara, except in a more wet formula. So you have to be careful not to get a bunch up into on your eyeshadow look if you're not careful. But just a beautiful volumizing formula. I love the hourglass wand on it. So that may make its way into my cart. I also really like the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Mascara in the pink tube. And I've gone through that and dried that thing out. That thing also doesn't owe anyone any favors or explanations, but it did need to go to the mascara cemetery. Bye, Charlotte Tilbury mascara. So I may put another one of those in my cart. I'm not quite sure, but the Pat McGrath one, for sure, for sure. Let's see what else we have here. In terms of foundations, so. I have 2 of the Shiseido Synchro Skin foundations that came out maybe a year and a half or 2 ago. And I like those okay. They are not favorites of mine. And I think it's called the self-refreshing formula. They're fine and I plan to use them up. But I was a little disappointed because it wasn't quite as spectacular as YouTubers said that it was. So I'm going to give this new Shiseido one maybe a try. It's called the Synchro Skin Radiance Lifting Foundation. So it's like a cousin to the one that came out before. The retail on that is $47. So again, at 20% off, it's not a whole ton of money off, but it's the right time to try it if I am interested. The other foundation I really have my eye on, and this is on recommendation from Charlotte. I think her name is Holdcroft here on YouTube. She's so delightful, you guys. She is a makeup reviewer in the UK, and she just has the wittiest sense of humor. Go check her out. But she talks a lot about the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Foundation as a favorite. So I would really like to get my hands on that. Again, that's a foundation that's $88. What? So I have drugstore foundations that are amazing at like the $12 price point, like from Maybelline and L'Oreal. Let's get real. But I have FOMO, fear of missing out. So I kind of need that Tom Ford foundation, even at that ridiculous price point with only 20% off. Yeah, I'm that person. So those are the two foundations that I am looking at it's sitting in my cart. They're sitting in my cart staring at me, you guys. Before I get into fragrances, I'll leave that last. I also have a replacement of the Benefit Cosmetics Precisely My Brow Pencil Waterproof Eyebrow Definer. Whew, that is just like the longest name ever. It is a beautiful brow pencil, though. I think mine, oh, I have the shade 3.5. I can tell you that. I don't have to think about it. 3.5. It has outperformed the Anastasia Brow Wiz for me, and I really like the Anastasia one too. But this one is even better. And I had a pencil recently and worked that thing down to the bare nub, y'all. I finally had to send it, with the mascaras up to heaven. But there's another one sitting in my cart. I also have two replacements for my Sephora waterproof eye makeup remover. This one in the blue bottle. Well, it's not a blue bottle, it's blue liquid. I really love it. It is an excellent eye makeup remover. It at least softens everything up so that you can come in with your cleansing balm after that, your oil-based cleansing balm, which I highly recommend to get the rest of your makeup off before you do any other wash steps. I have also the Selena Gomez Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Multitasking Makeup Sponge. It's on sale for $7, and so I thought I might try it. Although I have to be honest with you, I have the Real Techniques orange sponges, and I love those. Those do a really fantastic job. I don't really need another makeup sponge. But I'm that person that sees like the sale. It's like a $7. It's not a big deal. I just, add it to my cart. So that may be coming home with me. And then probably one of the most, oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm looking at the Tartelette Juicy Amazonian Clay eyeshadow palette. And I'm looking at that. I'm not the hugest fan of Tarte eyeshadows, except for a couple that I mentioned in my part 2 that I think are really nice and worth thinking about. So I follow Mel Thompson here on YouTube. Mel, I know you will never watch this video or know who I am, but girl, your recommendations have a hold on me. She talked about this Juicy palette. It's called the Juicy palette. Being a dupe for the Aspen Ovard palette that Tarte released in limited edition a while back and hasn't been put back out. And she raves and raves and raves about that palette and talked about how this Juicy palette was a good replacement. So I'm really interested in checking it out. And the other major purchase, before I talk about the fragrances, I think if you have followed me, there's no way that you don't know that I have an obsession with Natasha Denona. I know you're sick of hearing about it, but I'm not sick of talking about it, so let's talk. She recently released an eyeshadow palette called Circo Loco, with these wild colors in it. I'm not one to often put really wild colors on my eyes. I try to stay kind of sort of conservative, I think, with my eyeshadows, except on the weekends, maybe Fridays, depends how many meetings I have, or the weekends when I can experiment and have a little bit of fun. For the most part, it's a dramatic eye in comparison to someone that doesn't wear makeup, but for makeup lovers, it's not just like that crazy Instagram look that, is really avant-garde or high fashion or whatever. But these Circo Loco colors are in that range. She's got a few tame ones in there. So because it's Natasha Denona and I have all of her palettes, I've become a collector of her. I have all of her midi palettes, which are the mid-size ones, and I have all of her large palettes, and then I have her mega large palettes, the 28 pans, and I just adore them. I think it's one of the most fantastic eyeshadow formulas on the market. Incredibly well performing and a joy every time I reach for one of her palettes. I love them, if that's not apparent. So Circo Loco is in my cart, and I'm going to cross my fingers that it doesn't sell out. Because it's such a different kind of palette and so loud, I have trouble thinking it's going to sell immediately. So I'm hedging my bets here, guys, so I can get a little bit of a sale. So then let's talk about fragrances that are in my cart for consideration. The Joe Malone Myrrh and Tonka Cologne Intense. I Joe Malone is one of those houses that I have stayed away from because the fragrances that I have sampled have been just okay. There are some really pretty ones that we sampled at the fragrance company. Not the fragrance company. What are you talking about, Veronica? The cosmetics company, which is under Estee Lauder. It gets all of the houses under Estee Lauder, the overstock from those discontinued items, etc. A number of that number, percentage, whatever, overstock gets sent to the cosmetics company, which is an outlet store. So a friend of mine went a while back and sampled the Joe Malones that were in there, and they're nice, right? They're all nice. And she actually bought one that was really beautiful and ended up working out well on her skin. But in terms of some of the prices that these fragrances command, like I'm looking at a 3.4 ounce of this Myrrh and Tonka, the 100 mil, at $195. Are you kidding me? Especially considering that the Joe Malone fragrances are notorious for being fleeting fragrances. However, I have heard really great things about this Myrrh and Tonka one in particular, and it's called the Cologne Intense. So I'm going to have faith if I do purchase it, because it may end up out of my cart before I get bold enough to buy this thing. I'm hoping that it lasts longer. Do you have this one, the Myrrh and Tonka? Please let me know whether it's worth it in terms of the longevity for the price. So it'd be $195 with 20% off. So roughly $40 off, $39 off. It still leaves me in the $150 to $60 range. Eek, that is a lot for a fragrance, especially if it's not going to last long. So tell me what you think. And finally, I have a travel spray of the Tom Ford Soleil Blanc sitting in my cart as well. I have the Eau de Soleil Blanc, which is very nice, but I would really like to get just the full Eau de Parfum as well. So that's sitting in my cart. And I think that that is everything that I am looking at. Do you have other recommendations for the Sephora sale that have not been talked about in any of these 4 videos that you think all of our friends should know about? Please drop them in the comments so that we can all take a look at it and enjoy. I hope that you have enjoyed this series with me, and let us know what you end up purchasing from the sale. Have a great day and happy sale shopping.